Hello everyone. Good morning, guys. I'm sharing my screen. Let other folks dial in as and when they want to. Sharing my screen. And yesterday we had a brief intro session about what exactly Fusion Cloud application is and all that. So today we're going to talk about. Today I'm going to give you an overview of the navigation within the application. Today we will be focusing on navigation within the HCM Cloud application. And we'll also get started with a security as well. Okay. So first things first, what is it that we need to do, guys, to access a Fusion HCM Cloud application? Of course, we need to access the URL. We need to access the URL of the application. And the moment you access it, it would show you a login page. You need to enter the username and password. Only then you will be able to sign in. Okay. Now, we have sent out the onboarding email yesterday, guys, and in that onboarding email that we have sent you, we have included a link to access the Google Drive sheet, and in that Google Drive sheet, we maintain these Fusion Cloud instance details, guys. Okay, so I'm trying to log into the Fusion Cloud instance. I'm trying to log into the Fusion Cloud instance as a HCM implementation user here, as a HCM implementation user. Yes, for HCM, I'm trying to log in as HCM IMPL20 user with a password that is given in that particular Google Drive sheet. And the moment you sign into the application, this is what you get to see, guys. This is what you get to see the moment you sign in. Now, whenever you log into an application, there will be a default theme. There will be certain look and feel that the application comes with. So whenever Oracle delivers a Fusion Cloud application to the client, let's say Emerson is implementing this Fusion Cloud application. Assume that Emerson is a US manufacturing firm. They want to implement Fusion HCM Cloud. And what is it that they would do, guys? Every client, and when they get the application from Oracle, there would be certain look and feel that is attached to it. It comes with Oracle logo. There is a default layout there is a default theme that is applied in the application, etc. And every client will ask you to make certain changes to the look and feel. Like they would want to see their logo here. They might not like the color combinations. So can we change the look and feel of the application? You can very well change the look and feel of the application. And when we do UI customizations, guys, let me show it to you. When we do the UI customizations towards the end of the course, in that particular session, I'll talk about how to change the look and feel of the application. But the moment you log in, this is a default look and feel that you see. And you see in the middle screen here, you see a home page. The moment you log in, you see a home page. And what is this home page called as, guys? This home page is called as there is a layout attached to a home page. There is a default layout attached to a home page. And that default layout is called as that default layout that is attached to the Fusion Cloud application is called as a newsfeed homepage layout, guys. What is it called as? Newsfeed homepage layout. So this is a default homepage layout attached to Fusion Cloud application, guys. And remember this, you see this particular screen. So this is where you see groups. So these are what you call as groups. And within the groups, you have pages. Okay, so if you scroll to the right, you will be able to see groups per modules. Usually, you see one group for receivables, one for GL, etc., for financials. And you will be able to, if you scroll to the right, you see all the HR related work areas are available under a group called My Client Groups. So these are called as groups. So when you log into the application, the default homepage layout that you see is newsfeed homepage layout. And this is exactly how it is going to look like. And within the homepage layout, what is it that we have? Within the homepage layout, within the newsfeed homepage layout, you have the concept of groups. And within the groups, what do we have, guys? This is called as a group. And within the group, you have individual pages. Okay. So this is the exact name for them. So these are called as groups, and within the groups you have whatever you see within the group is called as a pages, guys. Groups, and you have pages within them. And if you scroll to the right, you see I logged in as a HCM implementation user. And how many groups am I seeing, guys? And this particular area, what is this particular area called as, guys? This particular area is called as a springboard. This particular area is called as a springboard. Okay, so that is called as a springboard. And within the springboard, you will be seeing, groups. And within the groups, you see individual pages. Now, since I logged in as HCM implementation user, how many groups are we seeing here, guys? We're seeing plenty of them, right? Are we seeing plenty of groups here, guys? Yes. Now, whenever a specific user logs in, what groups do they get to see in the application? Whenever a user logs in, what groups they get to see in the application will be controlled by something called as a role-based access control, guys. Role-based access control. Okay. So whenever a user logs in, see, I logged in as HCM implementation user, I'm able to see so many groups, right? Now let me try to log into the application as another user, guys. I'll try to log into the application. The same instance I'm going to try to log into as a different user this time. And let's say I try to log into the application not as a HCM implementation user, but I'm going to try to log in as a normal employee, And when I try to log in as a normal employee, how many groups you see here, guys? Do you see so many groups that HCM implementation user is seeing here, guys? Whatever groups that HCM implementation user is seeing, are you seeing all the groups here, guys, or are you seeing very limited groups here, like 5 or 6? Please respond, guys. We're seeing a very limited set of groups here. We're seeing a very limited set of groups. In case you are responding, you will be on mute, guys. So you need to unmute yourself when you speak. Only then I'll be able to hear. Now, when I log in as you, how many groups am I seeing here, guys? Very few. Now, what does this prove to you? It's the same application. Into which user is logging in. Different users are logging in. And when Sue Eden logs in, she is able to see only few groups. Whereas when HCM implementation user logs in, he's able to see many groups. And where is that controlled from? In case of Fusion Cloud, security works on the basis of roles assigned to the user. Security in Fusion Cloud works on the basis of roles assigned to the user. And HCM implementation user has got a lot of roles assigned. He has a lot of roles assigned, and that is why he is seeing a lot of groups here. Whereas Sue Eden has very limited roles, and that is why he's seeing very limited roles. Okay, and we will be spending almost 3 to 4 hours. Sorry, we'll be spending at least 2 to 3 hours on this particular topic alone, guys. But for now, just remember that whenever a user logs in, what he gets to see in the application is controlled by roles assigned to the user, and that is why it is called as a role-based access control. So whatever are the roles assigned to the user, that would control what he gets to see. Now, if you see here, if you scroll to the right, I'm in sales here. Yes, Anil, go on.
Hey, one question. Sorry. Is it clear? My voice is
Anil,
clear?
please go on. I cannot hear you. I can see that you have raised your hand, but I cannot hear your voice.
Okay. Can you hear my voice now?
Okay. Looks like you have a problem with your audio, guys. Can anyone else please confirm if you can hear me? Amar, Ashok.
I can hear.
Yeah, I could hear. Yes.
Sorry. Looks like there is a not able. Let me just reconnect. Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just wanted to. Can you hear me?
Just give me one moment, guys. Give me one moment. Yeah, is it better now? I've taken off the headset. Please go on, Anil. Ask the question.
Hey, one question. Can you hear me?
Very well. Please go on.
Okay. So you spoke about the landing page, right? Where you are speaking about logos and kind of stuff. So one question there. I mean, for these customizations, do we need CSS classes experience or anything kind of those? Like, I mean, working on banners or color combinations and all. So generally, for cloud applications, I see a lot of CSS classes being used. Is it something that Oracle uses or what?
We'll talk about it in detail when we do the UI customization session. There's a lot of story attached to it, and there are different kinds of pages that we have in Fusion Cloud. Not one set of pages. Some pages are created using ADF framework, and some pages are created using Redwood framework. So how exactly you need to make those customizations in those different sets of pages? We'll worry about all of that when we do the customization session. But for now, just remember that yes, whenever our clients get an application from Oracle, it comes with the default look and feel, and that can be changed. What can be changed? How can it be changed? We will talk about it when we do the UI session.
Yeah, same thing I was looking for. Like, I mean, we have a class or some information beyond than what you said just before. So thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, we will be, if I start talking about UI customizations now, right? It goes in a completely different direction. We will talk about it in detail when we do
Yeah, and yeah, sorry. I mean, I was not trying to deviate you from what you're saying, just was trying to understand whether it's a class. Thanks.
Yes, there is a session for it. Okay. And after this, and if you look at the springboard here, if you look at the springboard here, you see the groups. You see the groups that that shows up on the springboard. And what you notice with this springboard is the number of mouse clicks required to navigate around is quite high. The number of mouse clicks required to navigate around is quite high. So for example, if I have to submit a job, maybe I need to run some report as a user. What do I need to do? I'm in sales group here. I need to click on this arrow mark. I need to click on this arrow mark 5 times or 6 times rather. And I need to click on tools. And I need to scroll down, click on schedule process. So how many mouse clicks it took me to come to this page, guys, from where I can pick up a job and run? Almost like 7 mouse clicks, right? And if I go back to the home page, what if user has to do this? What if user has to do this maybe 10 times in a day? You cannot expect them to spend 100 mouse clicks just to go to that particular screen, right? So that is exactly where we have few options available. Well, the first thing that you see is, yes, you see the groups and pages in the navigator, sorry, in the springboard. You see the groups and the pages in a springboard, right? And apart from this, you also have something called as navigator. You also have something called as navigator. And how do you, and you see the groups, whatever are the groups and pages that you see in the application, you will be able to see those groups and pages within the navigator as well. And how do you access the navigator? To access the navigator, you click on the menu option here. And when you click on a menu option, it opens up, and this is how you access the navigator. And whatever navigation options you see in a springboard, you see the same navigation options here as well. So you see tools, and within the tools, again, you see schedule process. So if I have to go to schedule process screen, yes, I can spend 7 mouse clicks and use the springboard to get there. Otherwise, I can click on the menu option. I can click on the menu option, and I can click on tools group. And under tools group, I can go to, I can just open this, scroll down, go to tools, expand it, click on schedule process. Just one mouse click and it takes me to the schedule process screen directly. Okay. And after this, so this is another way to navigate around in the application. So two options, you can pick and choose which one you want to use, Springboard and the navigator. And there's also a third option to get onto the page that you want to, and that is using a search option. So there's a quick search option. It looks like a Google search option. And in this particular space, you can search for people or actions. Remember, guys, when we are looking at the application now, today we're going to look at the application as an end user. So the application, first of all, you and me as an implementation consultants, we might probably use HCM application for maybe 4 months or 6 months. And once the implementation is done, who is going to use the application for 10 years, guys? It is the end user, or it is the end users on the client side. It is Emerson employees or Emerson administrators or HRs who are going to use the system. So obviously, the application is built in such a way that it should make the life of end user or a HR specialist or employees easier. So if I have probably logged in as a HR, what is it that I can do from the application? I can go into a search bar. I can search for any specific employee. And after I search for a specific employee directly from the homepage itself, I can perform a lot of actions on the employee directly from the quick search option itself. So for example, if I have to promote an employee, I don't even have to go to, one obvious option is if I have to promote an employee and maybe I'm a HR logged in here, I can go into my client group and I can use a quick actions available here to promote an employee, or I can go into person management screen. And from here, I can search for a specific person. I can search for a specific person, open that particular person record, and I can perform the required action from the task ribbon. I can perform the required action from the task ribbon. I can click on update and I can say promote an employee. But instead of doing these many steps, what else is available, guys? What else is available? You have a quick search option, right? Within the home page, we have a quick search option. And from any other page, how do you come back to the home page? If you are in any other page, you just have to click on this home icon and that will bring you back into the home page. And within the home page, we do have an option to search for people or actions here. And I can search for people and I can perform any action that I want to do as a HR on that person record. I can play around with their absences. I can change the payroll setups and everything, anything I can perform basically as a HR. Or you can also search for actions as well, guys. You can also search for actions as well. So in this particular case, if I want to go to schedule process screen, I would just have to type in that name here. And as you type in that name, you will be able to see that showing up here. And the moment you click on it, it would also take you to the same screen. So what are the 3 ways you can navigate around in Fusion Cloud, guys, to get down to the actual page? Anyone wants to summarize? The first is a springboard. In the springboard, you have groups and you can go to the required group. You can go to the required group and open the required page. This is one way. What is the second option, guys?
Navigator.
Navigator. Yes, this is the second one. I can open the navigator, go to tools, and I can click on schedule process. What is the third option?
Search.
Search at the top. Okay, so these are the 3 options. And you see this, and let's talk about these options, guys. So for example, if I go to any specific page, if I'm in any specific page in the application, if I want to go back to the home page, what do I click? This option. And if you click on this option from any other page, it will bring you back into home page. And apart from homepage, we also see that there is a quite handy option. So this option is quite handy, guys. You have favorites and recent items. If there are some screens that I navigate to as a user quite frequently, maybe there is specific screen that I access maybe 10 times in a day. So for example, let's take the schedule process itself. Let's say I access this page as a user 10 times in a day. I do not want to access the page from here or navigator, or I don't want to type in that whole string and search for it again. Is there anything that I can do? I can go to that specific page that I want to access quite frequently, and I can go to favorites, and I can, when you are in that target page that you want to add as a favorite, go to that particular page, you say add to favorites. I can create separate folders and I can add different favorites to different folders if I want. Or else I can add the page directly onto the root folder itself. If I say, if I add in this page, it would be added as a shortcut, and I click on save and close. And from now onwards, now that the schedule process is added as a shortcut, tomorrow morning onwards, when user logs in, or next time onwards, when user logs in, if they want to see the page, or if they want to access a scheduled process, what is it that they have to do, guys? Just click on this and click on this. That will take you to that page. Okay. So, and also another thing is when you navigate around in the application, and when you're doing setups, say for example, you are in my client groups, and let's say you're doing absence management setups. And when you're doing absence management setups, maybe you're setting up a one thing on the absence in the absence management plan. Maybe you're creating a plan, and midway you realize that you did not define an eligibility profile. So what would happen? You would have a requirement to switch between the screens. You might want to go from one screen to second screen, and from second screen to third screen, and from third screen you want to come back to the first screen. How do you quickly switch back and forth between the screens, guys, that you have accessed? And you can do that by using a recent items option. So if you click on this option along with favorites is quite handy. Whatever pages that you access quite frequently, you can add them here. And if there are any favorite items, or if there are any recent items that you want to access, you can go into recent items and you can add them here. Or you can access the recent items that you have visited. Are these the pages that we have accessed recently, guys? Search person, employment, monitor process, absence administration, yes or no? Whatever we accessed recently started showing up in this particular page. So if you want to quickly back and forth between the pages that you accessed recently, recent items would come handy there. And we do have an option to add a watch list, and this will not be particularly helpful for us, guys. This is this particular screen. The watch list is especially given for finance users, guys, not you and us. And we do see a notifications. And in the notifications, there can be two types of notifications, guys. There can be two types of notifications. It can be FII notification, wherein it just gives you, it's kind of for your information kind of a notification. And there could be some other notifications called as FIA. So the notifications can be of two types, guys. FII, meaning it is just for your information and you don't need to act on it. You do not see approve or reject button. It is only for your information. And if it is for your action, what does it mean? If it is for your action, it means that there would be an action required from a user, and there would be a request pending for his approval, and he would be able to see approve and reject buttons, and he can look at the request details and he can either decide to approve or reject it. And that's what we call as for your approval notifications. And we will be exploring this notifications task. When we do the workflow approvals and notifications. See, after we are done with the global HR module, guys, we will be spending almost 1.5 hours. We'll be spending almost 1.5 hours on workflow approvals. And when we do that particular topic, I'll talk about how to set up the approval rules for various HR business objects. And you will be, and when we set up that approval rules, we would be logging in as an approver to approve the request. And in that case, you will see the FIA notification where you have approve and reject buttons. Okay. And you have an option to see a phone and image. That's okay. You can ignore them, and you click on the username. The moment you click on the username here, you will be able to see the menu option opening up here. And the first important thing that you need to understand in these menu options is about this application. And the moment you click on this about this application page, it will give you the details about what application you're looking at. Okay. Now, somebody might ask you as well, what is the exact application that you are learning? What is the application that you are learning, guys? So if somebody asks you what is the version, what is the release of the application that you are learning, which release are we or would we be covering in this particular course? it will be release 13. It will be release 13B is what we are using. Okay. And what is the version that we are using? What is the version that we are using? It is 25A. It is 25A. And there is a specific naming convention for this versions, guys. There's a specific naming convention for this versions. How many quarters do we have in a year, guys? How many quarters do we have in a year?
4.
4. And are these the quarters that I'm listing down here? These are the 4 quarters that we normally have in a year. And Oracle follows a quarterly release policy or quarterly upgrade policy. Oracle follows quarterly upgrade policy. Oracle has a quarterly upgrade policy for Fusion app. What does it mean, guys? It means that every quarter you get a new application, new version, guys. Every quarter you get a new version of the application. And how exactly the version would be named, guys? There are 2 parts in the version number. The first part is a year, and that would be the year that you are in. In case of 24, it is 24. In case of 25, it is 25. And apart from year, what else do we need to mention, guys? Depending on the quarter in which that particular version is released, it would be either A. And what is the quarter version released in a second quarter called as 24B? And what is the version released in third quarter called as, guys?
24C.
And 24B. So first 2 characters is nothing but the year, and A, B, C, and D is nothing but the version.
But
Okay, it's a release. So if it is a version released in a first quarter, you call it A. Second quarter, you call it B. Third quarter, you call it C. Fourth quarter, you call it D. Now, what is the version that is released in a first quarter of 2025? What is the quarter that we are in, guys? So we just entered April. Okay, and on Jan to March, what is the version that we have? 25A. And by mid-April, what is the new version that we're going to get? What is it that going to be called as?
25B.
25B. So if you look at the version of the application, if you look at our application version, it says 25A. And very soon, in the next couple of weeks, you should be able to see this version getting changed to 25B. So every quarter we get a new a release from Oracle, new version from Oracle, not release. Okay, release is going to be 13B. It has been 13B for a few years now, and it's going to stay that way. But this version keeps changing, and there are 2 bits in the version number, year and the character A, B, C, or D. Depending on the quarter in which it is released, it would be either A, B, C, or D. Clear, guys? And you see a release 13 and 25A. And when you click on the menu option here, we also see that there's an option called application help. Very often you might want to refer to the documentation given by Oracle. Maybe you are an end user and you're getting some error when you're trying to do something, like maybe adding an absence or doing something, or you are a HR administrator and you're doing some change in the setup and you're running into an issue. What is it that you should do? First thing is you should be able to access the documentation. And to access the documentation, if you click on application help, it would immediately take you to the documentation page. And this is a standard Oracle documentation page, guys, for Oracle Fusion Cloud application. And if you scroll down, you will be able to see HCM. This is what we are interested in. And as I mentioned yesterday, guys, Fusion Cloud application, is this only meant for you and me as a HCM consultants, guys? Not really. Oracle has a lot of other offerings in HCM, in Fusion Cloud. We have financials offering, we have SCM and other offerings also. It's just that we, as a HR specialist, would be talking only about HCM in this Fusion application. Now, if I want to look at the HCM related documentation, what do I do, guys? I go into HCM and I click on human resources. What do I notice here? I'll be able to see the documentation of HCM here. And if you look at the left side here, there are three different navigation options here, guys, or 3 different types of documentation you can look at. So for example, if I'm an end user, meaning I'm an employee of Emerson, I'm trying to maybe add an absence and I'm running into an issue. So where do I see the end user documentation? If I go into use here you will be able to see the end user related documentation. Okay, end user related documentation. If you want to look at the documentation as an implementation specialist, who are we guys? We are implementation specialists. And let's say we are doing some setups. Let's say we are doing some setups in a global HR or absences or time and labor or payroll. And maybe we ran into an issue. And we want to quickly refer to the documentation. What do? We go into implement and we go to that specific module. And let's say you need some clarification in absence management. You pick up that particular module and go ahead and look at the documentation aspects or implementation aspects of absence management. Let's say I'm facing some difficulty while setting up a eligibility profile. I can directly go to absence management eligibility profile. It explains in detail what exactly each field is. And you will also see some examples as well. So this documentation is pretty extensive, guys, that Oracle has given. And usually most of the answers that you need, you would be able to get them directly from here. And you can bookmark this page, or even if you don't bookmark it, it's only a click away. Whenever you want to refer to the documentation, click on the username, click on this link, and that will take you there. And you see hide help icons. See, for example, when you go to our pages, you might be able to see that there is a help icon showing up, right? You will be able to see help icon showing up. I'm not able to see the icon here. Yeah, you see these help icons, guys? You see these help icons? If you do not want to see them and if you want to hide them, you can go ahead and click on this icon to hide the help icons. Print me is something, yeah, you can just print the page. Troubleshooting, you can ignore it. And in the administration section, you see one important page called setup and maintenance, guys. And when you click on this setup and maintenance, it will take you to a specific page. It will take you to a specific page called as functional setup manager. It will take you to a specific page called as functional setup manager. Now, why is it called as functional setup manager, guys? It is called as a functional setup manager because this particular screen is used by functional consultants to do the various configurations of the modules. So if I'm a HCM consultant, if I have to configure global HR, payroll, absences, right? Where do I do all the configurations from? I'll be doing it from this particular screen. And there will be quite a few options that you see in this particular screen, guys. And we will be spending two complete 1-hour sessions. We'll be spending 2 complete 1-hour sessions in a few days from now. And in those 2 1-hour sessions, I'll be talking about everything that you see on this particular screen. The FSM screen, Functional Setup Manager screen. So that's a brief about the navigation within the application, guys. Now what we do is, let's get started with creating a user. Let's get started with creating a user. So I go into tools. And how do you create a user, guys, in the application? To create a user, I go into tools and I go into security console. And from security console, you see an option called users here. And within the users, I see an option to add a user account. So I click on add a user account here. And I go ahead and enter the details here. So let's say I'm creating user for one of you. Okay. I'm creating a user for one of you. Okay. Let's say I'm creating a user for Anil. Okay. I'm creating a user for Anil. And I'm going to create it as Anil and J, or I'll say Anil.jog, or I'll just say Anil.j. And I'm entering a first name and last name here, and we can also enter an email address. I enter an email here. The reason I'm entering an email here, I'm entering an email that I use to monitor notifications. Now, the reason I'm entering email here is, as soon as you save a user account in Fusion Cloud, the user which has been created would receive an email notification saying that a new user has been created for themselves, so that they can reset a password with a link that they have received in the email, and they can log in and access the application. So I just want to show you how would that welcome email look like. So that's why I'm just putting in an email here that I have access to. And we are trying to create a user for Anil. Assume that Anil has joined Amazon and we are trying to create a user for him. Okay. And as and when you type in the first name and last name here, you will see the username is generated as first name dot last name. And this is again controlled from user category. This how exactly the username is generated is controlled from user category. We'll talk more about that in tomorrow's session. And one important point, guys, I might forget to make this announcement. We will be doing a training session tomorrow as well, guys. It is a Monday to Saturday batch. It is not Monday to Friday. It is Monday to Saturday batch. So please dial in tomorrow as well. Okay, only Sunday will be off, guys. And what I would do was I'll set a password, and I'm going to set the password as welcome123. I'll keep it simple. I'm just creating a user called Anil J. Anil J. And I'll just save this. Notes. And what I would do is I would go ahead and I created this user. I created this user and with this password. Now, to this particular user, after you create a user, you need to go ahead and add a role to the user, guys. You need to go ahead and add a role to the user. So after you create a user, when this user logs into the Fusion Cloud application, what navigation options when user logs into the application, what groups should he be able to see, and what pages within the group he should be able to see will be controlled by the roles assigned to the user. And that is what we could call as role-based access control. Now, see, Anil has joined Emerson as an employee. So when he logs into the application, he should be able to access few basic screens that every employee should be able to see. Now, tell me one thing, as all of you are working, right? When you log into your HR system in your company, what is your expectation, guys? What are the things that you might want to do there? You might want to view your pay slips. You might want to submit an absence. You might want to view the personal information, right? And if some goals is assigned to you, you also might want to see what are the goals assigned to you. So these are the few basic screens that you want to access as an employee. So how do I grant access of those bare minimum screens that every employee should be able to access? I do it by assigning a role. So when you click on add role, you will be able to search for the roles here. And there are different types of roles available. The first type of role that I'm going to add to the user is employee role. So I'm searching for a role called employee. And when you search for a role called employee, you see that there are two roles. Name is same, but in the code, there is slight difference. There is one role that starts with or underscore. There's another role that doesn't have it. And why do we see two roles with the same name but different role code? I'll talk about it in Monday's session, because in Monday we will be talking about custom role creation. Tomorrow we have a different agenda. We'll be talking about data access and all that. Monday, when we talk about custom role creation, I'll talk about why we are seeing duplicate roles here. Okay, there is a reason behind it. But for now, what you do is just remember that we always have to use a role that starts with or underscore, even though you see duplicate roles. And what is this role called as, guys? This particular role that we are adding is called as an abstract role. Now, why is it called as an abstract role, guys? Because this particular role will not give user access to any functionality, guys. They will not be able to access the employees, or they will not be able to access any setup related pages or anything. It's just that these roles give access to few bare minimum screens that a user should be able to access either as an employee or as a line manager. So since these roles are not going to give access to any functionality like a HR screens, etc., these roles are normally called as abstract roles. And what are the examples of abstract roles? Employee, line manager, and so on. So in this particular case, to this particular user, I'm adding employee role. Okay, and it's an abstract role. I go ahead and save and close. Now, shall we try to log into the application as this user, guys, as Anil, and see what he gets to see? Shall we give it a try, guys?
Yes.
Let me copy this. I go in here. I'm going to sign out as Sueden, and I'll be signing in as Anil now. What is the username? Anil.j. And this is a password that I have set up, and I sign in. And the moment you sign into the application, so let's say Anil signs into the application, and when he signs in, what is it that he get to see? He is able to see 4 screens here. So since I have assigned employee role, since I have assigned employee role to Anil, Anil would be able to see when he logs into the screen, he would be able to see all the bare minimum screens that he should be seeing as an employee. What are the screens that he's able to see, guys? Personal information, pay slips, existing time cards, goals. So whatever are the things that he should actually see as an employee, he's seeing those groups. Maybe if he wants to buy some stationery, he can create a requisition, submit it. And if he wants to run some reports, he also has access to them. So whatever are the bare minimum screens that he should be able to access as an employee, he has got access to them. Clear, guys, so far? Now let's assume that Anil has joined Emerson, not as an actual employee, but assume that Anil has joined Emerson as a HR specialist, And what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to take care of all the HR specialist activities. He should be able to hire employees, terminate them. He should be able to manage employees, change the location, and do all the HR related stuff. And now what do I do? How do I make Anil? Anil has come to me and said, Prasad, I'm not really sure. Assume that we are a security specialist here. Anil has come to us and said, or we are a HCM implementation specialist. Anil has come to us and said, Prasad, I'm not really sure if you know my role. I'm not a normal employee. I'm a HR specialist who joined Emerson today. And yes, I was able to log into the HCM application with a login that you shared, but unfortunately, I do not see any screens where I can do my job, where I can hire an employee or terminate an employee. I cannot see those HR screens. So what do? We will quickly realize, we understood the situation and we edit the screen. I edit the user, and what is the role that I'm going to assign now to the user? I'm going to assign a role called Human Resource Specialist. Because what did Anil tell me? Anil said that he is a human. He has joined us as a human resource specialist. Now, when you search for a human specialist role, again, ignore the duplicate roles. Well, I'll tell you the story behind it in Monday session. So you need to pick up a role that starts with or underscore. And this is a second type of role that we have. And these roles are called as job roles, guys. So if you go to LinkedIn or Naukri, what are the typical job roles we see, guys? You see job roles. If you go to LinkedIn or Naukri, you might see jobs like general accountant, accounts receivable manager, HR specialist, or maybe a payroll administrator, right? So these are all the real-time job roles that we see in the job market. And what Oracle did is Oracle has created job roles with the same name in Fusion HCM Cloud. So if I had probably had Anil, if Emerson has probably had Anil as a human resource specialist, and they expect him to perform this particular job, HR specialist job, and how do we grant access of all the HR related screens, of all the screens that he should access as a HR specialist, guys? We would just assign him a HR specialist job role. And the moment you assign a HR specialist job role to the user, you click on save and close. What should happen now, guys? Now that I have made Anil a HR specialist in the application, if he signs out and signs in back, should he be able to see additional navigation options, guys? And should he be able to play the role of a HR specialist? Let's find out. Are we seeing the same navigation options, guys, or are you seeing anything extra here? Did we see this earlier, guys? My client group benefits administration, we did not see them. When Anil had only employee role, we were able to see only the first two and last two groups. We did not see these two groups in between. The moment I assigned a HR specialist role, Anil started seeing these two groups in the application. Now, Anil will be happy about it and he thinks he can do his job. And he gets into the application. He's able to see all the HR related work areas here. He can see that he can hire an employee, terminate it, transfer. He can hire, he can also do a lot of other things as well here. Now let's assume that we are Anil and he needs to hire a couple of employees in the system. He goes into new person. He can use a quick navigation option here, or he can also click on new person here. And he can try to hire an employee. And when he tries to hire an employee, what is it that we have to do, guys? When it tries to hire an employee, right within the home page itself, the first option that we see is a legal employer. So whenever Anil hires an employee, the first thing that he has to choose is which company is hiring this person. And he should ideally be seeing the Emerson companies here. Whatever legal entities that Emerson has, whatever companies that Emerson has, he should be able to see them so that he can hire an employee into one of the Emerson companies. But is he able to see them, guys? Yes or no, please? Is he seeing any legal employers here?
No.
Able to see it. Without selecting a legal employer, would you be able to complete the hire process? No, you cannot.
No.
And okay, so he's not able to hire an employee. He thinks that, okay, there could be some problem. I'll take up with a HCM specialist later on. And he goes to a person management screen and maybe he needs to edit a couple of employees. Maybe he needs to update a location on one employee and change something else on another one. He comes here and let's say he needs to edit a Curtis employee. He comes in here and searches for Curtis here. Is he able to see any employees here? Is he able to see employees here? He's not able to see the employees as well here. Okay. So what does it basically mean, guys? We made Anil HR specialist in the system. By assigning a HR human resource specialist job role. And when you assign a job role to the user, that assigning a job role to the user will give him access to the required screens in the application. Okay. But this particular thing, giving access to the screens to the user in the application is different from granting data access to the users. This is different from granting a data access to the users. Okay, there are two things, guys. To the user, you need to assign to the user when you assign a job role, he would get access to the screens. Okay. So when you assign a job role, that would give him access to the screens. But he will not get access, but he will not be able to access the data or see the data in those screens. And how do we fix this? That is exactly where we need to do some explicit steps to grant data access to the users. We need to do some steps to grant explicit data access to the users. And how exactly do we do this? How do we grant data access to the users is what we're going to cover in tomorrow's session. Okay. So today we have seen how to create a user, assign job roles, and that user is able to see the screens, but when he gets into the screens, is not able to see the data. How do we grant access of data to the users is what we're going to cover in tomorrow's session in detail. And yes, guys, we do have a training session tomorrow. Please dial in. And one quick announcement, guys, yes, you will be, after today's session, we would be enabling a passcode on the meeting, guys. We would be enabling a passcode on the meeting. And if you have, we would be enabling a passcode on the meeting. If you have already completed an enrollment process, well and good. If you have not done it, request you to please complete that process by today EOD. because we would be enabling a passcode and we will be sharing that passcode by around 11 or 12 o'clock today. You would receive a passcode. And tomorrow morning, when you try to join a training session at 7 a.m. IST, you will be prompted to enter a passcode. And we won't be able to share a passcode unless you complete the enrollment process, guys. And if you've already completed it, okay, watch out for an email from us by 12 o'clock today. And please check your inbox and a spam folder, because sometimes email goes to a spam. And if you have not completed yet, completed the process yet, send us a WhatsApp message on this number or call me on this number after 10 a.m. please, because I have a couple of meetings more. Call me on this number after 10 a.m. I'll let you know the enrollment process. Please wrap it up. Any questions from anyone? Yes, Suresh, go on.
Hey, I don't have WhatsApp. How do I get in touch with you?
You can do a normal phone call on this number.
What time you said?
After 10, please.
10 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 a.m. After 2 hours from now. And if it's too late and if you're based out of US, you can call me your morning.
Anytime after 8 a.m. tomorrow morning? What, my time?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Or you can also send me an email so that I can share you the bank account details, and you can probably look at that as well. Okay. If you want to have
Yeah, that may be
before you do
that may be easier. Yeah.
you can send me an email. I'll send you the details. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow, and we'll pick it up from here.